At this year's Adaptive Surfing World Championship, Parker Olenick competed at the unassisted prone category. Competing seriously since 2018, he has quickly risen up through the ranks, and this year Olenick has become the first collegiate parrot surfer when he enrolled at San Diego State University.
I surf in PS1, which is a parasurf prone one, so you're laying on your stomach, but you're unassisted.
Okay, so first of all, starting out with the complexity of being a Para 1 surfer and laying down, what types of things did you have to adjust to right away in order to become, not only a proficient, but just a better surfer?
Well, it's a very cardio-heavy sport, so just building up that paddle endurance. And also, once you're on the wave, it's a lot of spinal rotations and mobility. So to kind of keep up with that, especially because I have cerebral palsy, so the nature of my disability is spasticity, I do yoga every day, multiple times a day, just to keep myself loosened so I'm maneuverable out in the water. And that's probably the biggest part of my training.
So the boards have, slight adaptations so that you can stay on the board and maneuver the board. Talk a little bit about what's on your board and how it helps you.
Well, for me, so traditional short boards usually have a stomp pad on the back. So a surfer has somewhere they can put their back foot to really pivot. And so what I did is I took one of those and then I cut it in half and put it on the sides to kind of stop my legs from shifting side to side to stay on the board while you're doing a turn or an air or something of that nature. And then I also put handles to grab so you have more stability when trying to do more critical maneuvers.
So when you're talking about critical maneuvers, give us an idea of some of the things that you've worked to perfect and how they've helped to improve your score while you're out in the water.
So with my boards, like it's a very high performance shape, so it helps carry a lot of speed, which is what you need to do maneuvers like a cutback or a roundhouse, or if I'm trying to do like an off the lip and kind of like hit an end section, or do a rolo, which is where you go up and you're upside down and then you flip. And all of that, you kind of need like a very high performance board and like a lot of stability. And so you're able to trust your equipment to do those, very technical and sometimes very dangerous maneuvers.
There's so many variables with the ocean. I noticed just from yesterday to today that it seems like the breaks are coming a little bit quicker. Does this affect how you prepare as you get out in the water?
Yeah, so for most of these events, I like to show up like a week early or a couple days early just to get a lay of the land. We call it getting a spot wired and just kind of feeling more comfortable. And then obviously like I have a quiver of boards, so I have multiple options depending on what the conditions do. Especially right now for a finals day, this is typically like pretty small. So it was really interesting to see all the competitors kind of frantically scramble to find a board that's big enough, because it's completely different than what they've been riding even at the beginning of the contest, because the ocean is extremely unpredictable and you kind of have to be ready for that and almost anticipate it going wrong a little bit, but just being ready and comfortable with that.
Is prone something that's permanent to you in terms of your surfing? Because I talked yesterday to a guy who's relatively new, and he's hoping to get into wave ski surfing. So will you progress to that, or are you pretty well stuck at prone?
Oh, so yeah, when I was younger, I was in the assist division because I didn't have a lot of muscle mass and I was kind of tighter and just less experienced. And then I got reclassified and put into Parasurf 1, so I'm unassisted now, and that was maybe 2-3 years ago. But I'm kind of happy where I'm at, and when I talk to the classifiers, they've kind of figured out, okay, you're one of those people that is where you need to be. Your mobility level is not debilitating, it's not getting any better. It's fair for everybody to have you in this division. And every 2 years or so, they go through and reclassify just to make sure, so that way it's fair for everybody. Everybody's surfing their best, and then yeah, it's that way it's all good.
What's the hairiest spot you found yourself in out in the ocean?
For the U.S. Open, this event, this is the most tame the conditions have been, and I don't think we've had a U.S. Open where the conditions have been under 6 foot. And then when I was here competing in the junior divisions about 6 years ago or something, it was pretty hairy. Even the water safety were like, I don't know if the Groms or the kids should be going out there, because it's over 6 foot. We're like all about 100 pounds, like we're getting flicked over, and you don't want us to drown. So I've been in some pretty hairy situations, but
let's go ahead and pick out one that really sticks out in your mind.
Well, a couple years ago at the U.S. Open, I think this was 2019. It was well overhead, and nobody could get out, and so they had the jet skis ferry everybody out. But the problem with that was it was so big that we were out there that we were like, okay, now what? Like, this is barely surfable. Like, this is just it's just big and gnarly. What are we gonna do? And at that point, I was in the assist division, and my dad was my pusher, so we were a team. And he was like, I'm gonna send you on a wave, just hold on. And I held on, but that wave had other plans. And then it looked like a fun wave, and I'm kind of going down the face, and then in what felt like half a second, I'm upside down in the dark, falling from the sky, and then you hit the bottom, and then you're upside down, and then you're spinning around. I think I did maybe about two, 3 backflips underwater. And then my dad just remembers, because as soon as he pushes me, he starts swimming because he wants to get to me when I come out the other side. Either it's, a successful ride, or he has to come save me, And he said, all I saw was the board slowly floating up, and I didn't see you for about another 5 seconds. And then all of a sudden he sees my leg, and I'm upside down. And then as soon as I get another breath, I get like half a breath, and then another set's already on top of me. So that was a bit of a scary moment. That was probably the first time I was grabbed by the water safety, and they asked, "Are you okay?" And I went, "No," because I'm pretty comfortable in the water. My dad went through these training programs to make sure I'm comfortable in the water. But at a certain point, you got to know your limits, and you got to know when it's too much. And I was like, that was the scariest moment of my life. I was out of air, 100%. It was.
Did you get back in the water that day, or how long did it take?
So I had to surf the rest of my heat. That was at the beginning. So I was, spitting up water, and then my dad's like, "Are you okay? You're good?" And I'm like, "I'm good. That just wasn't fun." And we just had to finish the heat, and that was one where I missed advancing to the final by, I think it was 0.3, but it was bad enough conditions where I was like, you know what, I survived, and at least I don't have to surf tomorrow.
Sometimes that's good enough.
Yeah, and because that was the event where I was surfing the men's assist division and the junior division. So thankfully, I was like, at least I only have to surf the final once tomorrow, and I don't have to surf 2 finals, because I know it's going to be big and gnarly. And kind of the icing on top of the cake for me was I did win juniors that year, so I figured, like, all is well that ends well. Like, it didn't 100% go my way, but it kind of balanced out, And then I came back the year later, ready to do it again, even though I took a beating,